Steve Harrington goes to the pits from his lowly position in the event.
Second time in there for him.
16th place or thereabouts. But the positions in the Australian Touring Car Championship after 23 laps of Oran Park, Alan Moffat of course first and Peter Brock, then comes Alan Grice, Barry Jones, then comes George Fury, followed by car 59, not Terry Shield, it's
Peter McLeod.
Peter McLeod, yes, thank you. From car 15 is Terry Finnegan, then comes Greg Hansford in position 8, followed by David Parsons in the Holden Commodore in 9th place. Kevin Bartlett is 10th in the big Chevy Camaro, having its first run in the Australian Touring Car Championship this year. There are the positions in the Australian Touring Car Championship. The uncorrected points position, which puts George Fury on 141 points. He has to drop one round. So far, his worst result in an Australian Touring Car Championship has been 4th. In fact, he has had 3 4th positions, so he can choose which one he wishes to drop. At the moment, he's lying 5th, so this will be the round he drops, in fact, if he does not increase his position in the next 8 laps.
Surprising just how far Fury is behind these two drivers, Grice and Jones, and particularly with the blistering time that he set so late yesterday afternoon as Peter McLeod goes back into the pits in the Slick 50 Mazda. Fury, in fact, in the last couple of laps with the headlights on in the Bluebird. It's McLeod in the fire-breathing peripheral port Mazda.
And actually, Neil, with the announcement that we've made about the new 13B engine for the Mazdas, it raises an interesting point. How many of the drivers are going to be able to afford to buy the new engine? In fact, what we may well be seeing from the Mazdas is a split in the camp, that there will be some very quick with the 13B, some closer, some slower rather, with the 12A, depending on the budgets that the teams have.
There was a suggestion in the pits yesterday, in fact, by a couple of the Mazda drivers that they didn't want the bigger engine. They were quite happy with what they had.
Oh, and Grice using all the track and then some. Not shy to do a bit of curb bouncing as he tries to put some distance, any distance, between himself and Barry Jones.
Alan Grice in car number 6 as Moffat comes back up onto the main straight behind Kevin Bartlett, the man who ran second here last year to Peter Brock after Moffat was disqualified for jumping the start. It's a downhill starting line at Oran Park, which makes it very, very difficult for drivers to control the car away from the line without actually jumping, and Alan Moffat would argue that.
Bartlett not keen to let him through either, but Moffat gives him little choice in the matter. Kevin Bartlett, one of those who will be disadvantaged by the new rules, even though he gets the 12-inch rear rims, which theoretically should help this most powerful car in the Australian Touring Car Series to put its power to the ground. Kevin was explaining that the larger the rear rims and tyres, the more stress it places on the driving components like the half shafts, and really it's no answer for Kevin at all.
So that's the gap between first and second, which has now come down just a little to 4.04 seconds, and is further reducing now to 3 seconds on our last stopwatch check. So Peter Brock perhaps really firing himself up now in the closing stages. Bartlett car 66, Brock car 05. Peter Brock heading for the United States this week to watch the Detroit Grand Prix, the next round of the World Formula One Championship. He's heading over there with John Harvey, back in time, no doubt, for the final round at Lakeside.
They get back on the Thursday before Lakeside, in fact, in plenty of time to get their car together for the event. One of the main reasons they're going overseas is to see John Bagshaw, the former sales director of General Motors in Australia, with the idea of opening a door in Germany to Opel, to allow Peter to start to import the two-door Opel GT car. He says it is not for racing, purely for him to modify in his workshops and sell as a limited edition vehicle with his Brock Special equipment underneath the two-door body. To which we reply,
Very interesting. Brock, in fact, has been very successful with his special vehicle division in producing the Group 3 SS Commodore.
George Fury has obviously lost his gamble today to win the Australian Touring Car Championship at Oran Park. He is 10 seconds behind Barry Jones, and undoubtedly his tyres are off.
Gap first to second, stretching again to 4.09 seconds. Little wisp of smoke from the front left of the Commodore as Brock locks up a brake.
Should the positions remain unchanged to the end, Fury will take 19 points for his fifth position, taking him to 160 points uncorrected in the championship. Moffat will move to 146 corrected points, only 14 behind. Or if you look at it another way, if you correct George Fury's points, Alan Moffat moves to a 5-point advantage in the series.
1977 and 1980 Australian Rally champion George Fury, as we go back to the leader, Alan Moffat. A man who in the early stages of his motor racing career borrowed $4,500 from his father to continue to race, to come back from the States and back here to the shores of Australia. As we mentioned in yesterday's program, has gone into motor racing the hard way as it goes